Hey, it's Heather Zeitzwolf, and I'm going live again. And today is day 39 of going live for 45 days in a row. And today I've got a guest, Caterina Rando, and she'll be joining us momentarily. There she is. So, Caterina, I would love for you to come to the stage. I'm inviting you. Here we go. She's asked to join, accept. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. Caterina Rando.
I just
Oh, now I can't hear you. Maybe you hit the if you've got headphones plugged in, it's not going to work.
No, I don't have headphones.
Oh, now I can hear you. I can hear you fine. Okay. Perfect.
Good.
We're making this happen.
Yay! I'm blissing to be with you.
I look totally blown out, so I'm gonna go back. I've got the sun coming in my room, so I don't usually do lives this early. So, Caterina Rando, you are my friend, my mentor, my coach. I love all the things about you, Caterina. And for the people in the audience out there in Instagram land that don't know who you are, you're the woman behind the Fempire, but tell us a little bit more about who Caterina Rando is.
Well, what I'm all about is about supporting women with service businesses to thrive economically, which means you get to be yourself, you get to do your thing, you get to serve your people, and you get to massively monetize your mastery. Because if we're not thriving financially, then we don't really have time freedom, we don't have choice freedom, and we don't have surplus for that financial security.
You're talking my language, Caterina. I love all the things that you're talking about. So I love that you bring in those elements, but where you shine at so many different areas, but the ones that come out most to me is like serving your clients in a way that just makes them feel so great. Like you serve your clients. I mean, I've got a stack of boxes from Caterina Rando from like all the different things I've signed up with you. And where does that come from, that element of like wanting to give gifts to people? Is that something that you were brought up with?
I would say that pre-Amazon, right? Or, when I was growing up, my mom would always get packages delivered. She would shop from catalogs. And that definitely was a fun thing, to see what was in the boxes. And my mom is she's I guess we would say a chocolate enthusiast rather than a chocoholic, right? She's a chocolate enthusiast. And so she would get these boxes of special kinds of chocolates delivered from candy shops around the country. Like she got these, bourbon bark or something with marshmallows and pecans. And that was always fun. The thing though, really, Heather, the guiding principle is to be following the 5 love languages, acts of service, quality time, gifts, words of appreciation and acknowledgement, because, we can't do the 5th one really, or we haven't been able to, which is physical touch. And so how do you have people know that they're loved and appreciated? Well, and also I'm Italian, so, I can't sit you down for a good big plate of pasta, right? So we got to do something. And the thing is that being in business is not just about our expertise. It is about letting our clients know that we genuinely care about doing a great job for them and supporting them to get the results that they're looking for.
And a little bit of chocolate also helps.
Exactly. Vegan chocolate is also good.
Yep, yay. Exactly. Bing, bing, bing. So
bing, bing, bing.
Bing, bing, bing. Another thing that you are wonderful at is getting people to speak. You think getting in front of audiences. I mean, part of the catalyst for me doing this is getting comfortable kind of ad-libbing, speaking in front of people. And because I'm very controlling, like I have to have things really planned out. And it's not that I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Like I knew we were going to talk. So it wasn't a big surprise that you showed up. But so there is some planning. But speaking, why is speaking so important as being in a business? So whether we are selling for our own business or we're just entrepreneurs, we've got a sales team, but why is speaking so important?
Well, because people people will not buy from us until we build influence. Okay, we can do all the networking in the world and everyone can think we're lovely, but that doesn't mean that they're going to say, hey, I want you to help me. When we speak, we not only show people our personality and they can see if they vibe with us personally, but also we get to showcase our massive value. We get to share our super tips and our ideas and our guiding principles and our philosophies, and people resonate with us. And then they start to pay attention more. And then, of course, Heather, as you know, it's on us to invite them to come and spend more time with us. And that's where I love people to encourage people to do their own monthly Zoom something, workshop or event where they can showcase their massive value even more, and then invite people to be your client. But don't invite people to be your client when they don't know how amazing you are.
And that is the key of having like something where you can actually interact with people, because before I met you, I kept hearing from coaches and the gurus online that have a webinar, and so I was buying webinar software so that I could hook it up and like look like there was like a countdown where they could sign up and all these things, and I was trying to get all that in place, and you're like, no, all you need to do is just have a Zoom room and invite people. So, and that there's that eyeball to eyeball time with potential clients. So you are a master at all of these things, and you call it, part of that would be getting into our fountain. So I'm going like this. I don't know if this is the shape of the fountain that you have. Maybe it's more like this kind of fountain.
Yeah.
But so people talk about a funnel, you talk about a fountain. So explain the fountain analogy.
Well, the idea of the fountain is that, if you think about a fountain, the bottom bowl is easy to get into. Unlike a funnel, though, where the water comes in and goes out, we don't want people to come in and go out. We want to cultivate not just clients, but long-term and lifelong clients. And that happens when you make it easy for people to get started with you. You underpromise and over-deliver. You give them more massive value than they anticipate. And then guess what's going to happen? They're not going to go anywhere. They're going to continue to work with you if you have other offerings that are going to serve them on an ongoing basis. And this is why, Heather, I know that you're having your mastermind where people can come and be with you on an ongoing basis, because business is dynamic. It's not like we do something and okay, we're done. Like I just talked to my team today about, we're going to do a survey for all of our people. Well, guess what? Next time we're going to have to upgrade the survey. And we're talking about doing a new client orientation. Well, guess what? Every so often we're going to have to upgrade that too. And this is a good guiding principle for your business, to always be upgrading. And another guiding principle is always have ways for people to get massive value from staying engaged with you. This is why, Heather, you're coming on the Bliss Retreat with me, because every business owner needs to get away every so often and retreat. And like you're doing the mastermind, that's the mentorship program. That's great, because every month there's new challenges for people to address in their business. And, as we continue to grow, our clients are continuing to grow, and there's always more to learn and explore. And of course, with technology, there's no shortage of things to learn and explore.
And you have this element of like, almost like costumey type of thing, where you have your fascinators and all of that. And I love that, because I was brought up in a household where we wore feathered boas and put on fancy glittery hats, and like, it was all about like putting on things like funky glasses. I mean, I've got a drawer full of like embellished glasses and things like that. And so I just love this analogy that you have of the cape, and I got a cape from you for the Shiro event. So can you explain where did that even come from, this idea of the cape, and if you could explain what the cape means?
Sure. Okay. Well, I used to teach what the CAPE stands for, which is certainty, authenticity, positivity, and enthusiasm. And one of the gals at one of my workshops put that together, and she said, hey, that's CAPE. And that was great, because then that gave us the idea that before you are going to make a sales call or give a speech, you want to make sure you have on your cape, and you can just like, twirl it around and wrap it on as a gesture to show you and remind you and kind of physically embody that, okay, I'm going to talk to this person, or I'm going to give this talk, and I'm going to have my certainty that I have massive value to bring. I'm going to be my authentic self. I'm not going to worry about being like anybody else. I'm going to be positive, because depresso salespeople and speakers do not attract clients. And of course, enthusiasm is that we want to bring that extra energy to these important conversations or talks. It's not as casual, like if we're meeting our girlfriend for a cappuccino, that's going to be a little more relaxed conversation. But we got to really bring our energy, especially in virtual, my friend Heather, because that has to keep people engaged.
Yeah, and so then, but then was that the catalyst for the Shiro event? Did the Cape come first and then the Shiro event,
Yes,
or
the
they?
Cape
Okay.
came first, and then the Shiro event. We used to call it something else, and like we said, business is dynamic, and every so often you got to upgrade. People are sick of hearing about that event, so we revamped it, we upgraded it, and we now call it the Shiro Speaker Summit, and it's really all about monetizing your speaking for women entrepreneurs.
Oh, I love it, and it was so much fun, and I'm so looking forward to it again. And
Yeah,
I'm assuming I get a new cape. You get a
yeah,
new
of
cape
course,
every year.
of course. And because you're super VIP, you even get to tell me what color you want, because
Ooh,
we like to send ladies the colors that they prefer.
nice! Wow. I think maybe in the future, maybe you can upgrade and have a Caterina Rando like iron on of you on
Oh,
there.
that is such a great idea. We would have it say TWIBC for Thriving Women in Business.
Yeah.
Heather, I love it. See, we're always upgrading.
Of course, it's going to cost more, but
Yes.
so now you live in San Francisco. Did you grow up in San Francisco?
I am. I'm a native San Franciscan. Yes.
Wow. Okay, so you said that you're Italian, and
Uh-huh.
I know that you used to have a cafe. Was that in North Beach?
It was not. I live on the West Side. I've grown up on the West Side.
Oh,
And
okay.
it is an Italian cafe. It's called Angelina's. My sister runs it. It's on 6,000 California Street. By the way, my sister is rocking her Instagram these days. So everyone can look at it. I think it's Angelina's SF. I'm not quite sure. I should probably know that. But yeah, she's rocking her Instagram. It's a great place for Instagram inspiration.
Wow, I didn't know that there was two of you. Okay, so
Yeah, there's two of us.
wow, you must be quite the team. Is she older or younger than you?
She's 4 years older. Yeah, she's 4 years older, and she paddles on the bay in San Francisco, and she makes her own granola that she sells to other places, and the food is phenomenal at Angelina's, and there's tables outside so you can enjoy the sunshine. It's a
Wow.
wonderful
Next
place.
time I'm in San Francisco, I'm definitely going to go there. That's very
Yes,
cool. Well,
yes,
now you mainly work with, I mean, I think it's just women that you work with
right.
primarily. Why did you make that decision to work with women?
Because I love women, because as you know, my friend, I'm born on March 8th, which is International Women's Day. I have always been an activist for women's issues. And because I found that when women get together with just women, they engage in a different way, and it cultivates community. And really, a big part of thriving for women is that we get to do things in community and not all by ourselves. You know, of course, over generalization, but men often are doing stuff on their own. Women love to do stuff in community.
Yeah, and I think that there's this sort of this false idea that women want to be competitive with each other all
No,
the time, and I think that is just not
no,
the case.
it is totally not the case, Heather. In fact, occasionally I'll hear someone say that. I don't know where they're going or where they're spending their time, because in our community, which we've now had for, I would say, about 15 years, no, it's been longer, almost 20 years, we've had our Thriving Women in Business community, and everyone's lifting each other up. They're collaborating, they're connecting, they're referring clients and resources to each other. I like to say a rising woman lifts all the women around her. And that's the kind of community I think we have with Thriving Women in Business, and that I want to encourage all women to find, because often women don't realize that what's missing is community. And especially when you have your own business, because a lot of us work from home or by ourselves, it's really important to have that community to connect with like-minded, like-hearted women on a mission, just like us.
Yeah. And as far as like niches go, so I mean, we're talking about a niche.
Yeah.
Now, you always talk about making sure that we are speaking in front of the right audience and that we're talking about the right topic. So, not, you know, we're smart. We know a lot of things. We could be talking about all kinds of things, but you talk about narrowing your focus. Can you explain that a little bit more, and why you think that's so important?
Yeah. So the idea is that we only want to talk about what matches what we sell. So for example, I've been doing my thing a long time, Heather. I could give a great talk right now on networking. I could give a great talk on communicating in business. Well, that's fine, but I don't have a workshop or a program on networking. So yeah, I could bring my massive value, but it's not going to put money in my business. So you want to speak about what matches what you are now going to be able to serve around. I teach a class called Achieving Sales Bliss, a workshop, because I have a 9-week program on sales. We want to talk about what matches what we offer. And we may have a lot that we offer, but we want to make it easy for people to get started with us. So we really want to focus on whatever our lowest cost offering is to get new people in the door.
And you talk about, like, you know, getting in front of different you know, audiences that are not your own,
Yes.
so that you can expand your reach. And you know, we've been in this virtual world. We're starting to be able to go out into the real world and do actual speeches and presentations in the real world. What do you have any tips on going back into that again and getting ourselves used to going out there? And
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's so easy to pop on a Zoom call and just be like, okay, I'm going to present today, but you know, like right now I've got yoga pants on, but you know, actually flying somewhere or traveling, do you feel like we still need to do those things, or has the world changed?
Well,
What's
I
your
would
thought?
say that Zoom is definitely not going away. And now that we all know how to use it, there's still going to be a ton of opportunities to speak virtually. That's not going away, which is awesome. And we may want to leave our house once in a while. I think, I've got one in July, I've got one in April, speeches, and I might just get booked for one more. But the thing is, I'm not going to run around as much as I used to, because I don't have to, and you don't have to, because of the virtual world. I do want to say that, you know, I went to lunch a couple weeks ago with 3 other business women, 2 of whom I did not know. I knew one was my friend. And I forgot like what I used to say when I met new people. And then it popped in my head kind of in the middle of lunch. So like when I go networking, here's a networking tip. I, you know, meet someone, I say, hey, tell me what's new and exciting with you and your business, rather than saying, you know, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. It's kind of boring. And that gives them an opportunity to brag about whatever they want to talk about or they're excited about. And I did it. It was about halfway through lunch before it popped in my head. So the thing is, I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, I think everybody's networking skills are rusty, and let's start to do it a little bit again so that we can brush off those skills and connect in person when possible.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing that I always do when I network is I try to find something that's like unique about that person, and then if they hand me a business card, when they're not looking, I write
Yeah,
down
right,
those things, so that
right.
way when I follow up with them, I'll be like, yeah, you were the one that loved to get, you know, bake
Yeah,
cookies or with your kids or whatever it
yeah,
was, and then they're like, wow, she remembers. But that's just a tip.
yeah,
Um,
that's great. No, that's a great tip. And the other thing, Heather, I'll say is that, you know, I'm very big on remembering people's names. and that's also a skill to develop. So that's great when you get their card, because then you remember their name, but also to make sure that you're remembering in the moment, repeat it back to them, and that will help you remember.
I know that is one of the toughest things. At least, when you meet people on Zoom, you can take a snapshot of the room and be like, oh yeah, that was so and so. But when you meet somebody, it's one of those things that like you put your hand out, they say their name, and it's like you're just trying to like kind of like digest all that, and then by the time you do that, like they're like, I'm so and so with so and so, and then you're like, wait, what did you just say? And now I'm in a conversation, and then they're like, call me next week, and I'm like, who are you? Like, I don't remember. So you repeating the name back is always good, and it's better to just be like, can you tell me your name again, than to be asking other people, what's that guy's name? So so I don't know how much more time you have, Caterina, but I do want to ask you about Clubhouse, because you're rocking it on Clubhouse. Do we have time to chat a little bit about Clubhouse?
I got more time than I got juice on my phone. So yeah, we can go for a minute.
Okay, so Clubhouse was one of those things that it kind of came out of nowhere. Somebody told me about it, and I was like, Clubhouse, this sounds weird. You talk, you don't get to see anybody. Like, that's weird. And then I checked it out. I'm like, now I get it. And so I think I was in that sort of the wave of like people just getting into it in 2021, like in January. And so I got on that wave, and I met some incredible people on Clubhouse. So tell us about how Clubhouse has changed your business.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's changed my business a lot, but what I would say is that, like you, I've met a lot of wonderful people. I have cultivated some relationships with people that have become clients on Clubhouse. What I love about it, Heather, is when, like what we did yesterday, like it's a place for us to engage more casually, even more socially than being in Zoom and, having meetings or workshops and that kind of thing. I think it's really great for cultivating relationships. It's also great for meeting new people when we bring our hot topics that we talk about, and getting podcast guests and getting invited on people's podcasts, because you and I both have a podcast, and expanding our reach and meeting people that we vibe with all over the place. I think it only enhances community and relationships, and of course can get us clients. And I want to let everybody know about our Thriving Women in Biz Club, where you're often hanging out with me and we're having a great time. And we do Mondays at 3, blissing in your business, and Fridays at 3, our weekly wrap up, which is networking. And we network on Mondays too. The more time we can be together and connect with other like-minded people, I think the more we can uplift our lives. But of course, it can also take over your life. So you have to watch it.
Yeah, you got to be careful that you don't go down that rabbit hole of Clubhouse. But I find that even when I've talked about this before, when I do laundry, when I'm cooking dinner, I'll just put on Clubhouse.
Right.
And I have met the most amazing people just doing, like, just randomly. Like, it was like, I was like, should I listen to a podcast while I do the laundry, or should I put on Clubhouse? And like I met this woman. She's called the Shopify Queen. I just went into a room I'd never gone to before, and now she was just on my podcast, and she's really inspiring me to get start a Shopify store. She thinks I should make some t-shirts and stuff to go along with my podcast. So I think I might do that.
Oh,
but,
well, good.
Like, I need another thing on my list of things.
Yeah, right. I know, that's the thing. I because you know me, I love to send swag boxes and special gifts and curate special gifts, and yeah, I it's on my list to have a store, but there's a lot of other stuff on my list too.
Exactly. Yeah, you have a lot of things going on. So, Caterina, so for the people in the audience that don't know about all the things you've got, so tell us about your podcast and your business, and how people can join in with you, like what's coming up next that they could come to, like a free event.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for asking. Well, the first thing is that I'm here on Insta. Please follow me. And my website is CaterinaRando.com. And if you want to get our free stuff, which we have a lot of, CaterinaRando.com/links, videos, checklists, etc. And there you will also, you'll always get invited to my next free workshop, which I do 1 or 2 a month. And the next one coming up is on achieving sales bliss. There's one this week. There's one in a few weeks because I'm going on vacation. And if you're not blissing with your sales, you're not going to be blissing in your business. So definitely come and check that out. And then we have a Get Booked for Speaking challenge coming up in a couple months. The Shiro Summit is coming up in August. And we have the Bliss Retreat that you're coming. If anybody wants to hang out with me and Heather for 10 days, bling, bing, 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 come on our Bliss Retreat next January. There's more, Heather. And my podcast is called Expand Your Fempire, which thank you, Heather, for being a guest on my podcast. That's how we met. And it's always info packed and there's always massive value.
Yeah. And Caterina was on my podcast. I was on her podcast. So
yeah,
it goes all the way around. And
exactly.
You know, you're so uplifting with everyone on the call, and you always have hearts on the screen. So we put little hearts on the screen. And did that just come out of like your own, like just the Caterina world, or did you see somebody do that? How did you come up with that?
No, I didn't see anybody do that. I believe we don't wear our heart on our sleeve. I believe we wear our heart all over our business and wear our heart all over our life. And we can all use more love, Heather, even if it's a little heart reaction on the screen. It feels good. And, you know, let's have fun and let's be loving and supportive and let's bliss for everybody while we're doing business. Why not? Right? And I don't come from a corporate background. You know, a lot of entrepreneurs come from a corporate background, and some of that stuff was kind of pushed out about, you know, being emotional and loving and kind and all that. And I like to love all over people 9 to 5 too. Why not? Right?
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Caterina, for being on my live today. We made it happen.
Sure.
We had some technical snafus, but speaking of technology, so I believe that Bobby Dietz and I are going to be doing a clubhouse room in your clubhouse.
Great.
On Friday after your 3. So we meet 3 p.m.
Great.
Pacific in your room. We're going to do one at 4 o'clock, and we're going to be talking about technology and using technology, and it'll be Q&A with the experts, and we'll talk all things technology. Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to make sure I'm available if I can be. That's exciting. I'm so glad you guys are doing a room in the club. Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah,
Yay.
yeah. So, you know, and as far as like, so I'm thinking like, how does this work with my audience and my message? But I'm all about streamlining your processes, and technology is definitely key in that. And I want people to use technology to keep their books and keep their business in order and measure things. So those things are all achieved easily through technology. So I think it goes hand in hand.
I think it's great. And I think, you know, the beauty of Clubhouse is you can talk about all kinds of topics just to get to know people. It doesn't always have to be as much of a direct line, fast path to cash, like when you do a workshop.
Before we go, do you want to just say one thing about Clubhouse that's like a new thing in Clubhouse that you're liking? Because they've got a lot of new features.
Well, I would say that what I like is at night, I listen to either the Secret Law of Attraction Club, or I listen to sound meditation and some of the more, you know, music rooms without words, just like to calm down at the end of the evening. But the other thing I do, if I'm up too late at 12:30, is there's this 10 minutes of laughter yoga where this guy, his name's Pete Cannon, I think, with a C. He opens a room and everybody comes in there and we just laugh for 10 minutes. And that's very fun.
Wow, that sounds like my kind of exercise. Just laughing. Exactly.
Wow.
That's very cool. Now I was actually thinking that you were going to answer something like, now that you can pin your PDF to the top of the page. But okay, so you're talking about the recordings and all of that you can listen to. That's very cool.
Or the live rooms.
Yeah, that's really cool. I haven't really dived much into that, but I'm going to have to check that out. And I need to have more relaxation in my life. I don't have a lot of that. I'm like, I remember one time I was at a bus stop and I was listening to music, and somebody came up to me and they're like, "You seem really mellow." And I'm like, "Mellow? I'm never mellow." Like I had lived in New York at the time. So. All right. Well, Caterina, thank you so much for doing this. And so yes, hang out with us more. I think your workshop is tomorrow, so hurry up and sign up.
It's the 16th. Is that tomorrow? Yes.
Yeah.
On the 16th. And if you missed that one, there's one or two in April.
Okay. And otherwise, you can catch us together on Clubhouse this Friday at 3:00 Pacific.
Yeah. Bing, bing.
Awesome.
Thanks,
you,
Heather.
Thank you,
Great
Caterina.
to meet you.
Thank you.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. And if you want to go live with me, hit me up in the chat. I'm doing 45 days in a row. Today is day 39, so I still got some days left. So hit me up, people. Thank you.
Bye-bye.